Have you ever caught yourself saying, "Don't get me wrong, he's a nice person, but," or perhaps you've said, "He's not a bad person, but," the truth is, the word but says it all. Everything before the but is an excuse. Everything after the but is what's really happening. When women say this to me, it makes me smile. Not because it's funny, but because I know exactly what's coming next. I want to jump in right there and unpack it with them. But I let them share their story because what comes after the but, that's the heart of their truth. And every woman deserves a chance to tell it in her own voice. And honestly, when I hear he's not a bad person, I think to myself, even a murderer is good to someone. Everyone who harms has a side the world might see as kind or generous. But that doesn't erase the damage they do behind closed doors. I used to say this too. He's a good person, but I said it for years. I excused harmful behavior because I thought the good outweighed the bad. I told myself things like, he works hard and at least he provides for us, and he's nice to everyone else. And when I tried to share my pain, I was told things like, at least he's not hitting you. Just live your life and let him live his. Don't pay attention to his words. Let them go in one ear and out the other. And someone even said, isn't there a little bit of abuse in every relationship? But here's the truth. Words don't just disappear. They sink in. They etch themselves into your mind until you start to believe them. What that does to a woman is plant seeds of doubt about her own suffering. It convinces her that if she's not being hit, then maybe she's not really being abused. And that keeps her silent. When you are disrespected repeatedly, the damage can be worse than a slap. A bruise on your body fades, but the bruise on your soul, it lingers. Every time you're given the silent treatment, the message feels like, don't speak up, and if you do, you'll suffer. What that does to a woman is train her to walk on eggshells. Every time you're belittled, the message is, you are not worthy. What that does to a woman is chip away at her confidence. Every time your needs are ignored, you shrink a little more. What that does to a woman is convince her that her desires don't matter, only his do. It used to never matter how small the situation was. If I took a left turn instead of a right turn, it would erupt into shouting, put downs, and criticism. Every little thing was made into a much bigger thing. What that does to a woman is make her second guess even the smallest of decisions. You start living in constant fear of setting him off. Suddenly, you don't trust yourself, not with choices, not with words, not with life itself. I want to be careful here because I deeply respect my children's privacy. So I won't go into their story. I'll share mine as a mother. I used to often feel torn. Do I speak up in front of my kids and risk another explosion? Or do I stay quiet so it doesn't look like we're not on the same team? Sometimes I was even told to discipline them when really it should have come from him. And it always ended up making me look and feel like the bad mom. What that does to a woman is tear her in two. You want to protect your kids, but you're also trying to survive the moment. It plants guilt that lingers long after the relationship ends. I still carry that guilt even now. And moms listening, I want you to know this. When you're living in survival mode, it inevitably affects how you show up as a parent. It impacts the bond you have with your children. And there were times I wanted to scoop up my kids and just run. I wanted to get them out of that situation, but I didn't know what the impact would be. I thought to myself, kids need both parents. They need a family. And I wondered, how could I survive on my own as a woman working part-time? That fear, that impossible choice is something so many women carry. And this is why I tell women today, your financial independence is extremely important. Because when you don't have it, the fear of not surviving becomes another set of chains that keep you trapped. When a woman has her own financial power, she has options, and options are freedom. Most people don't understand the impact of emotional and psychological abuse. They think if there aren't bruises, then it isn't real. But emotional abuse cuts just as deep, and it impacts way more lives than you can imagine. In part 2, I'll share the moment the light bulb went off, the straw that broke the camel's back, and how I finally began to see the truth for what it was. I hope you'll join me for the rest of the story.